2024 video game galore. I guess I'm doing a rhyme every year now. What a strange title to start this year off with, but also so strangely enticing and alluring. The creepy yet energetic atmosphere with some banger-ass music. This will be a running theme this year. Music and sound design. And this game covers it so well. The music is in the background, but when you get shot, it floods back into the foreground for a moment when you're resuscitated. And the insta-mute when you get shot, I don't know, it just has this visceral punch to it. And of course our lovely dealer, kind of unsettling, but at the same time he is playing fair after all. He even handcuffs himself when you activate them. Yet there seems to be some messed up lore to it all, a lore that also connects to Mike Klubnika's other titles, and it is a rabbit hole I oh so deeply recommend. And I loved going down it this year. This game is the definition of a small package with a big punch, just like a shotgun shell, and it had me replaying it more times than I care to admit. I'm your beast. This is a nice, quaint and cute boomer shooter that has this unique vibe to it. The story is told in a sort of lyric animatic way, which I don't mind. The budget exactly wasn't Rockstar level here, but the voice actors all do a great job of emphasizing those emotions, and it's all happening on radio comms as the situation is evolving between levels, so it makes sense too. It's about a professional mercenary being forced out of retirement, but instead of just killing the one person they want him to kill, he decides to kill the entire agency he worked for. Kinda silly, but you come to understand the man's principles. The movement feels solid, the guns function exactly how you want them to. I love the fact that he doesn't use the scope on the sniper when you hold it, and one of the in-game tips is cowards use sniper scopes. Alphonse Harding isn't a coward or something. By the way, that's who you play as, Alphonse Harding. Fucking A. Badass name. Having that red X appear on an enemy's head and that one frame pause feels so good, and building that combo to get the best score on a level is an itch you'll love to scratch. If you're a lover of old school shooters going fast and snapping your mouse onto poor souls and their skulls, this game is $19 and the devs deserve that shit. A no bullshit boomer shooter that plays well, and they added free DLC maps and challenges. Come on! Alright, so we just did like a fast paced boomer shooter with a banger soundtrack. Can we switch to something more relaxing? I've been waiting for this game since I've seen the demo about a year and a half ago. This game is often called the first person Hotline Miami, and that isn't doing this game or Hotline Miami justice. It's much like the game we just talked about before, but this is a more satirical and comedical homage to the Bushoos of old, with a wacky ass art style, like there's a dude with a middle finger head, like what the fuck? It's a hilarious commentary on crime and society, and some dope ass superpowered shoes to wear, each granting a way to spice up your gameplay. But the main highlight for me is the hardstyle soundtrack. When you first start a level, it's a bit faded out, but as soon as you kick that first door in, it starts pumping, and every time you stay in a cleared out room too long, it starts to fade again, subtly encouraging you to move fast and keep the beat alive. And the level complete music is dope as well. It also gives nice challenges that eventually let you unlock more shoes, and of course people are already speedrunning the ever-living shit out of this game, especially since you can drink energy drinks called thirst fuckers, and that makes you zoom around like fucking crazy. It also has these lore only levels where you can interact with the fine people of Shit City, where the game is based, and it's just a nice satirical meta commentary on crime, and it's almost integration in modern society. The one thing I want to complain about is that the bosses felt kinda easy, but it honestly doesn't bother me too much. So this game is much more than just a Hotline Miami clone. and yet it also isn't Hotline Miami. That game is getting a video this year, I promise you. Silent Hill 2, because they made another 2. Yeah. It's fucking dog shit, I swear to God. Oh, what can I say about Silent Hill 2 that hasn't been said before? The things you know and love are still here, well except the pizza scene, so this game fucking sucks. They have certainly changed some things, mostly for the better I'd say. They did Angela's part of the story better. There's a whole new set of collectibles that once deciphered will give you a whole new thing to theorize about how the original and this game actually sort of connect. And you still solve coin puzzles that come standard with every hotel. And the sound design. Oh my god, the sound design. Of course all the enemies are freaky, but just the constant creaking of wood and steel. Whenever James takes aim, he is audibly scared and shaking. Sometimes you can all of a sudden hear a gasp of a woman. I'm sure if you've played the game you can guess who that is. The sound in this game is actually perfect. I never call any game perfect, and this game as a whole isn't perfect, but the sound design. Damn. You know how last year for the Resident Evil 4 review I said that the original still holds up on its own? Well here, this version is just way better. That's not to say you shouldn't also play the original, but this is an improvement on all levels and adding and changing some stuff as well. But we must respect the fact that it does sit on the shoulders of a giant, a truly respectful take on the iconic masterpiece. Konami, please let Team Blober make a Silent Hill 3 remake. Also, the alien ending has been changed from Harry helping the aliens kidnap James to the original version of James kidnapping the new James, which completely changes the timeline of the universe. Alan Wake 2 DLCs. Via the trailers I was expecting this shit to get pretty hectic, but damn, Daddy Sam Lake just somehow makes anything work. There's 2 DLCs, so let's talk about the Night Springs episodes first. They're like an exaggeration of a draft made by Alan sometime during his stay in the Dark Place, but long forgotten and not nearly refined, and this lends itself to being a sort of satirical meta-narrative take on the abstract storytelling Remedy often employs, while simultaneously actually making it feel good and just cheesy enough for you to have a nice laugh, yet also interpretive enough so that you theorize just as you would with the full game. The Rose part is all about romantic fanfiction, Jesse's part was probably some sort of draft Alan made while trying to connect events of Control to himself, and the Sean Ashmore part is just Sam Lake screaming, "Fuck you Microsoft, I'm making my own Quantum Break!" Whereas the Lake House DLC is much more in tune with the original game, and it bridges the 2 big IPs together, the Control and Alan Wake, somewhat well. I don't know, I wasn't as sucked in as I would have hoped. I definitely lost patience or intrigue sometimes. It introduced a new weapon, but it's so pointless to use because you can just easily outrun the enemy you use it for, and they barely appear either. They felt kinda shoehorned in. The design and premise itself though is great. As I was saying, Control and Alan Wake differentiate in the fact that Alan uses the supernatural in an artistic way, imagination, inspiration, while the FBC uses the supernatural in the scientific way, measurements, experiments. These 2 sides clash in this facility, and the way that's shown is the part that kept me hooked. Like it always is with these games, the gameplay itself again is just simple survival horror stuff. As stated by the game itself, it is merely an addendum. I feel it doesn't hold too much weight for what's to come. It's just a neat little thought experiment. Both the DLCs are, and I'm glad it's here. It's like a peek behind Remedy, and as expected, it's fucking crazy. Alright, now we're gonna go quickly over the multiplayer stuff. Helldivers 2. Hey, there's nothing funnier than poking fun at blatant imperialist propaganda and mindless slaughter of beings that aren't like you. Cool map system, fun way to customize, probably the most fun player co-op I've had since Left 4 Dead 2, though that game is still better to me. Deadlock. I wouldn't be surprised if this game has more players now than it will when it actually comes out. This game is far from being done, and its hype is basically already dying down. Though it is a perfect combination of a MOBA and a third-person shooter, it changes just enough to make the laning not a torturous exercise for me, and I'm excited to see how it will actually end up because it can be quite different. The lore is also very cool. Marvel Rivals. This won't kill Overwatch because Overwatch and all other multiplayer games including this one are already dead, and there's nothing the gaming industry likes more than beating a dead horse. It's fun, I like Marvel, and I'll play it on and off. Nerf Hella, buff Wolverine. Buckshot Roulette Multiplayer. It's that game that we talked about at the start of the video, but now you have 3 other people screaming in your ear, either cursing you because you shot them, or begging you not to shoot, as you casually smoke that ciggy and saw off the barrel for that friend with 2 health left. Alright, there we go. 2024. Meh, I mean, I guess it was okay, you know. Got some big plans for 2025 for myself personally and the channel as well. So anyone that's watched all my videos this year, I appreciate it very much. You know, just showing up and watching these videos, it really means a lot. Also, just leave a comment of like, what game did you play this year that I didn't mention? Some indie games. There's some games that I did play, but I didn't finish, so you know that's always the case. Like I play a lot of games, but I don't finish all of them, and I feel like if I don't finish the game, it's not fair for me to review it. Again, we're up with the tradition that I didn't play the game of the year, which was Astrobot. I'm not even sure what game I'm gonna put in the back here, but usually I put footage of a game that like is not from this year, but I recommend playing. So what's gonna be there, if you can figure it out, play it. If you've been with me this year, I love you. Thanks so much. And make sure to hit that bell or whatever, because I'm gonna be trying a bit more. Bigger, longer videos this year. I hope you do the stuff that you want to do as well. I hope you achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. And yeah, thanks again.